Looks like tornadoes just to the west of town here. West of town. This guy's got double. This guy just got double tornado warnings. Let's see here. Tornado warning just went out for our location. There's they're blowing sirens here. So like sirens are going off now. Here we go. Here we go. Tornado sirens going off. Tornado warning now. Two tornado warnings now. Show you radar. Here's a tornado right now. I've got one there, and I've got one just west of Nakona. I've got two tornadoes in progress or Doppler radar indicated. National Weather Service. Let's see. This is the latest one now. Let's check this one out here real quick. Got a tornado warning. Let's get up here. So I got tornado sirens going off here in Montague. National Weather Service, Fort Worth. National Weather Service, Northeast Montague County and North Central Texas, Northwest Cook County, 8 p.m., 7:21, severe thunderstorm capable of reduced tornado near Nakona. That's the northern storm. Moving east at 35, tornado pinballing bite-sized hail. Then we've got a southern tornado. That's just southwest of my location here. Not very far, 5 miles, about 5 miles west of me. Fort Worth, severe southern Montague County. There you go. Developing tornadoes. Storm producing tornado. 7 tornadoes located near Bellevue or 7 miles northwest of Bowie. Moving east at 35, tornado ping pong sized hail. So the two intense couple right now, one's going in on the south side of Nakona and the other one is coming in. This is a strong couplet here. Let's go back, and then the other one's back to my southwest. This one, they're probably embedded in the line, big hail back southwest. Let's see what the hail looks like on this thing. Echo top coming in. Yeah, there's a couplet. We got one straight west of me. We're gonna bare minimum. We're gonna have damage and winds here. The bare minimum. Look what the hail core's doing. Pretty good size hail core north. Not too bad. But anyway, tornado warning in effect. People are taking shelter. These are going to produce damage and winds coming in. We're just west of I-35 here. This is southern Oklahoma. That's going to be the Marietta, Thackerville. Heavy traffic on I-35. These still are good about 40 miles, roughly 40 miles, about 40 miles west of the I-35 corridor now. And this is going to be in north central Texas, 30 miles west of I-35. We got a pair of tornadic storms now, tornado warning. And I'm going to go out here on the west side of town and watch this thing come in. Let's go out here west on 1806 and let's see what happens here. Okay. All the sirens are going off here in town. They're all blowing now. Sounds like it took them a minute or two to get all of them going. They got them all going now. Okay. Everybody's kind of running for cover, and I'm going to go out on the west side of town here with a couple of really tense. Let's go here. Boom. This over. Just a second here. Boom. Disconnect that. There we go. Okay. Go on the west side of town here. See what this thing looks like. It's going to be rain wrapped. That's one of the problems. This thing is rapidly moving to the east at about 35. Not screaming, but it's moving, right? And tornado warnings continue. Pair of them. One just Nakona is just about 8 miles north of me. The next one's just southwest of me. It looked better just a few minutes ago. We'll see what it does here. Very strong couplet now. I got a couple of them. I got embedded couplets now. One just going into Nakona, possible tornado going into Nakona right now as I speak, about 8 miles north of me, and I've got an embedded circulation, very strong, immediately northwest of me as well. And I can see some low rains, no tornadoes, just some slight differential motion, and also back west southwest of me here. We'll get here. This is kind of the gust front, and you're going to have embedded tornadic circulations along this gust front here in northern Texas We've got a pair of tornado warnings. We're still in our tornado watch. It's in effect till I believe till 9 p.m. It's 7:29 p.m. now. There's the leading edge of the line back to my southeast and northwest. Do not see any tornadoes, but I can tell you the Kona is getting very strong, intense circulation is going over. At the bare minimum, they're going to have damaging winds. Let me see what the winds are. Yeah, I've got about 65-mile-an-hour winds going into Kona, so they're going to have at least damaging winds going this one over them. That's in progress. There's a kind of a gust front. I'm going to pull over here. There's kind of a gust front. I don't see any tornadoes on the ground. It's just kind of a strong circulation right now. Just kind of a gust front leading line of where the tornadic storm should be appearing. I've got a bunch of local farmers here turning in here and looking at the storm. But again, I don't see anything of interest right now of any tornado circulation. But you got one back. Here's the Kona storm tornado warning. Then we got the other one back southwest. There's a farmer checking on me here, and there's a gust front. Yeah. So anyway, Nakona. Look at that Nakona storm. So still back here, right? So hang on, let me look. So again, I don't see any tornado, but I do see some pretty big gust front and damaging winds. And we got a farmer here. He's checking on me. He got kind of a small wind direction here. Got kind of a southwest wind, kind of a light north wind. This is just, this is mainly just gust front out ahead of the supercell. This is at the bare minimum, it could produce 40 to 50 mile an hour damaging straight line winds with some heavy rain. I do have a little bit of lowering to my northwest here. You can see almost I'm not going to call it a tornado, but I've got some substantial lowering just to my northwest here. And again, it's in that leading edge gust front just behind the wind shift line. So it's probably just some differential motion, but that's along the edge where I've got a lot of shear spinning up along the gust front, right? This wind changing direction. Got it. Kind of east-northeast wind. I do have a lot of strong shear back to my southwest here. A lot of strong shear going on. That's kind of surging southeast there. The front edge is coming around. Winds are about ready to change on me. About ready to go strong out of the northwest here. Getting ready to go a big, strong northwest wind. Now, that's what we have here. It looks like it's the main threat. The biggest threat. Again, Nakona, you see circulation immediately west of me is what we're just looking at, right? It's been up there in Nakona. You just have the circulation past you now. That's moving northeast. That's going to go over to Leon, north of St. Joe. That storm is heading basically toward the I-35. It will make its way toward Thackerville, Marietta, in southern Oklahoma. You got the casinos right here in this area. Down in this area, you got to watch the casinos, possibly damaging winds, possibly downline. You may have a tornado threat as well as this storm moves off to the east. And I'm going to take off back to the east here now and stay ahead of this line as it continues to rapidly move off to the it blew this guy's cowboy hat off. It blew his hat off. Let's see. Come on back across. You're good. That wind picks up, it blows everything, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
He's a county, it's a county fire. It blew the direction the wind took takes his hat off and went sailing southeast bound really quick. So again, I don't see any tornado right here in my immediate vicinity. I do have a lot of differential motion and a lot of rotation as far as the gust front goes, but that's going to be between and also to the northeast of Nakona now. Yeah, Nakona, the circulation is very strong northeast of Nakona. It looks like more like damaging winds, like a bow echo head to the northeast is punching to the northeast now. Yeah. Again, don't see anything super serious right now. It's just a line with 2 active tornado warnings, but again, nothing except for the damaging winds up at Nakona. And this line's kind of it's back built a little bit. There's a little bit of a circulation back to my southwest. That's kind of the tail and Charlie would call it. It's gonna be west of Sunset there, southwest of Bellevue. There's a new circulation developing back down there, but that's gonna hit track east southeast toward Sunset and toward Alford back to my southeast. I'm gonna go ahead and take this road. Well, sirens are going off here. Here we go. active tornado warnings. I'm heading over to St. Joe. It'd be in North Texas here, and this line's moving just past Oconee. It's going to head toward to the northwest of St. Joe, on up toward the Red River, up toward south central, extreme south central Oklahoma. It's going to be south of Gainesville, north of Gainesville area, as well as Thacker, Marietta area down line. As these storms probably move east, and they'll turn east southeast with time as they go down this old outflow boundary. And that's been what's happened this afternoon. And I will tell you, the inflow in the last hour has picked up dramatically as I came east over here in North Texas, the south of the supercells. The inflow picked up, and that's why the storms are rotating now. As we've got really good inflow now with the southeastward moving storm, so it holds the couplage pretty tight, and that's what's starting to happen now. That's why the storms are starting to rotate pretty intently now as they track to the east southeast across North Texas. Again, looks like an updated tornado warning now. Immediately to my north, I'm going to focus on that one. It's going to be east of the coast. It's going to be to the northwest of St. Joe. I'm seeing the strongest circulation. It's going to be immediately to my left here. I'll show you that momentarily. Also, I have a very strong circulation back southwest. Let me see what I've got back here. Yeah, I've got 1580, 1575. Yeah, I've got 89 mile-an-hour winds next to 75 mile-an-hour winds southeast of Dakota. That's going to be to the west, northwest, and northwest of St. Joe. About let's do a number here. 8 miles northwest St. Joe is where I've got the strongest circulation. When I get up the road here, I'm heading towards St. Joe now. And okay, the new update just came in, and got a rapidly developing new circulation now. It's going to be southeast of Nakona. It's going to be northwest, about 7 miles northwest of St. Joe, is where the new flanking inbound, outbound is very strong now. It may have to have a warning, but the new one's tightening up rapidly now. It's going to be south of the current tornado warning, and I'm going to show you out the window here real quick. There's the new bowl forming right there, and that's immediately to the northwest of St. Joe. This area I'm pointing at is going to be between the two tornado warnings. I'm in a tornado warning where I'm at locally, and then as you get over to my St. Joe, I go out of the tornado warning. But this is the bowl that was in the just took a damaging wind rotation, and it's rapidly moving gust front. I don't see any tornadoes right now, but there is a lot of inbound, outbound on the radar. As you can see, the area I'm concerned about right now, just right that location. It's in between the two tornado warnings, and that's the area that we got to watch out for possibly new tornadoes. You can see this punch here. It's punching pretty hard east now, and then you've got the circulation back southwest. But this Nicole storm seems to be the one that's got the deepest circulation and also the best rotation right now, right? It's also just it's wrapped in precip. See, it's wrapped in precip. You're not going to see it, but it's just got a big deal. There it is. Look at what we've got here. We've got somebody just reported something. Yeah, rotating wall cloud. That was probably the deputy guy that was just right there when I was out filming, and I'm sure that's what he just reported. Looks like some hail's coming in on the west side right behind me now, so we'll get out of that path of that hail. But this gust front, and really it's more of a surging gust front supercell. Again, I don't see a tornado. It's just kind of more of a damaging wind threat as these supercells are encountering a little bit stronger winds, both inflow and temperatures near 80 up here, and a good stiff south wind flowing into these storms. They're going to bring some damaging winds and maybe some quick spin up tornadoes as this line continues to move east southeast across North Texas. They will be approaching the I-35 corridor about 30 minutes from Marietta, southeast Oklahoma, Thackerville, Gainesville, Valley View, Sanger, and then also back down here. This is Tell and Charlie. Looks like Tell and Charlie just exploded back here southwest there of Sunset. And you look at how strong that is now, and then let's go to the Ville density and look how big it is. Ville density look like just exploded, and then see what the update is. Boom! It just exploded. So very large hail probably now in this storm down back on the southwest flank, which is not uncommon. Shows 3-inch hail, maybe tennis ball to baseball size hail now. That's going to track towards sunset. So damaging winds as well as damaging hail. They'll have another warning out momentarily on that storm. It's already severe. They're going to issue another warning for this. If it's not in yet, will be momentarily. This storm coming towards sunset. You're going to have baseball, tennis ball to baseball size hail is rapidly developing now. That's going to be to the west of sunset, and that's going to be moving east southeast quickly toward that area in Alfred, in that area right there. Back in this area, just southeast of Bowie, just southeast of Bowie there, baseball, tennis ball size hail right here. It's rapidly developing. These are rapidly developing storms. So I've still got active 2 tornado warnings. One is Nakona, over to, just west of I-35, and the other one is just right behind me, kind of where I'm at right now, just to southwest of St. Joe and Montague, right in this area right here. All right, but the most dangerous storm, let's look at this. Okay, I'm getting up here now. Let's see, there's the front coming in. There's the leading edge of that gust front back to my northwest. Not only perhaps more, but kind of straight line change a little bit to the northeast. But you see that's just a little bit of lowering, but not tornado type. Look, this is more of a gust front, damaging straight line winds with the supercell coming southwest with very heavy rain. And some probably the storms are looking at Florida, maybe some kind of Florida, Gulf Coast, ICL. Could be close to the St. Joe area. Back here southwest. That storm is clearly heading for sunset. You need to prepare for damaging hail and that area, golf ball to baseball hail in the sunset area. This storm is just down here south, and it's also the hail and it's coming up. So those are the storms you got to watch as we continue to go east here. We're about St. Joe. We might turn southeast here and just kind of see what these storms are going to do. We're just about St. Joe, and we're gonna peel kind of southeast. There's Bowie, and I'm gonna go back southeast here. Don't want to really get on I-35 and just kind of stay ahead of this lane as it crosses North Texas here. Let's see what we can see. Now it's kind of interesting up to my north. That's that big surge. Let me look at the velocity. That's very interesting. Now they've got some very interesting looking clouds now immediately north of me. Yeah, that's very interesting. No tornado, but a very strong rotating bowl immediately north of me, and that's going to be just to the north of St. Joe. That's the area I'm concerned about. And again, strong rotation, damaging winds for sure on this leading edge as it continues to come southeastward. And that's going to affect, again, just immediately west-northwest of St. Joe. I'm still seeing strong indications of spin-ups and a lot of extreme wind shear on the leading edge, which is also what I'm seeing visually. Boy, there's something really, I'm going to show you this. You see, this is to the north of St. Joe. This is where it gets very strong couplings, getting some very strong inbound, outbound, right in this area. That's a big right there. That's damaging winds, and heavy winds could be gusting to 80 on this leading edge. You almost RFD up there. You see a big cutout, a big RFD, the clear, that the bright area. That's where the winds are dropping down on the bowl there. That's the sinking in the bowl and then accelerating southeastward. And that is pushing towards St. Joe. It's probably going to go just north and north side of St. Joe and getting right through St. Joe. It's still getting strong. It's still getting a lot of spin up in the Gates Gate going on here. Let me look at it behind me here. Yep. Just kind of a big leading gust. Nothing, it's not a big rain-free base or anything like we had earlier. A couple hours earlier back west, we had some very impressive lowering and rain-free bases and that kind of stuff. But so far, nothing to speak of as far as tornadoes this afternoon. I'm not aware of any touchdowns, just some very intense supercells and tracking east-southeast across North Texas. Currently, we're still in a tornado watch until 9 p.m. as the tornado watch goes just past I-35 here, and it's for these supercells here. Let's see what we got back west there. Yep. So that's really the main thrust right now, is just this line of damaging winds and a possibility of embedded tornadoes along the leading edge as it tracks east-southeastward. That's the main concern right now, right? Let's see what they re-up the tornado warning here. Like south. Looks like one expires in 15 minutes. That was at 7:35. Yep, until 8 p.m. And it just says thunderstorm near Bowie. Yep, moving east radar indicating. Okay. So no new tornado updates right now from the Fort Worth Weather Service, but again, the most interesting thing I'm seeing right now on radar, the most concerning, is these damaging winds that are just northwest of St. Joe. It could be like a tornado in the sense of just straight line damaging winds on the leading edge of supercell, and almost can see the winds off the terminal Doppler. I was hoping to see that those Fort Worth radar. Yeah, so the strongest winds right now for sure are just to the northwest of me here. Let's look at this up here. Yep, here is the intersection here. I'm at 82 and 60, 59, 82 and 59. Let's look up here. Wow, look at that. Ooh, got a little bitty, got some small funnels. Damaging winds for sure. Look at this. This is damaging winds coming in just northwest of St. Joe. Again, tornado. This is a big Arcus gust front. This is the damaging winds coming in. Winds could be as high as 70, maybe gust to 80 along this leading edge, and that's what the Doppler's showing. So just to the northwest of St. Joe, and this is rapidly moving southeast. I mean, very rapidly, probably close to 50 miles an hour now. So this damaging wind is going to be in St. Joe. Again, I'm not seeing a lot of hail with this. At this particular supercell, more of a straight line damaging wind than with some heavy rain in the St. Joe area, and that's kind of what it looks like right now. I'm gonna go ahead and head on southeast here and go over to Munster and then on over to Gainesville, right? So not that far from Gainesville, to the west of I-35, or about 25, 30 miles, not that far. But the most concerning is in the moment, as far as Doppler is concerned, again, is I'm gonna say that the area, and I'm in it right now, is gonna be the St. Joe area. Mainly damaging winds looks to be the worst. Along this line, though, that we still have active tornado warnings. I'm not seeing that, but I'm seeing kind of just embedded circulations. But really, it's more about damaging winds. And again, the strongest damaging winds right now is immediately northwest of St. Joe. The winds. Let me see what the winds we've got here. Yeah, we get 70, 74, that kind of. So it's not extremely high, but still enough to break a few tree limbs and do some wind damage. Maybe knock out the power, those kind of things. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing right here. And I'm heading over to I-35 on this road southeast ahead of the storm. Yep. Again, nothing too extreme right now. The weather over the next week, we'll have multiple chances of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. There'll be another chance of severe on Friday here across central Texas, also up to south side of Dallas. We'll see what the model showed tonight. So the atmosphere is going to be very prime tomorrow. We're going to have upper 60 or 70 dew points along the I-35 corridor. Temperatures are going to be very warm into the upper 80s, and then the storms will erupt just along and west of the I-35 corridor, and then those may produce baseball hail and maybe a few tornadoes from Dallas Metroplex southward. That's tomorrow afternoon, and then as we get into Saturday, same type of event again, but Saturday we may have tornadoes up in Iowa and northern Missouri. Sunday, northern Missouri, Iowa again, in central Texas, a chance of severe thunderstorms with a chance of large hail and possibility of tornadoes. And then as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, things ramp up dramatically, and we're looking for more of a full-scale type severe weather outbreak as you get into that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This big upper low comes out, and it's going to be Nebraska, western Kansas, western Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle will ramp up significantly next week in severe weather, including significant tornadoes next week. Look like a good bet across a lot of the southern plains as we get into a very, very active severe weather pattern in the coming week. In the next 5 to 6 days, a lot of severe weather. Tornado warnings continue. But again, the main threat I'm seeing right now with these line coming in this area, St. Joe area, is really straight line damaging winds all the way from just west of St. Joe all the way down to just southeast of Montague. As these leading line is kind of surging southeast, and that's really what I'm seeing with this right now. It's more of just a damaging line, severe thunderstorms with embedded circulations in it right now. So we can stop up here. I'm far enough away from the storms now. I think I can get a decent view, and I'm going to turn around here at the center median here. Let's see if we get yep, here we go. I'm gonna make a U-E, and let's look at this real quick. Here we go. We're on a good 4-lane divided, so I can stay out of the traffic, stay out of everything. So there's the line northwest. Again, nothing too extreme on us. Just kind of a big gust front, and that's going to be that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Nothing too crazy right now. That's pretty much what we're seeing, right? So that's apparently, and right now where I'm pointing, that is the strongest circulation I'm seeing on Doppler from Frederick right now, as that area immediately to the northwest of just to the northwest St. Joe, about where the camera's pointing right now. This area right over here is where I'm seeing the strongest circulation on Doppler, and that's probably producing damaging winds. There could be some inbound, outbound circulations going on. As a matter of fact, it's pretty strong right now just to my northwest. So again, I don't see any tornadoes per se, but it looks impressive, right? So it's kind of one of those things you have to be on guard about. Let's see what we get here. I can tell you this is what the dew point is over here. I can tell you that the humidity has picked up a lot as I came east. It is very high now. I mean, the dew points might be approaching 70. Let me look at the Mesonet data here, and almost Oklahoma and then North Texas here. Let me see what it is, because it is very, very high. 65 on the Red River, so I'm probably upper 60s around the area. Let's look at the national dew point. Yeah, so I've got 66 in Dallas. Low 60s are 70. It looks like at Waco, Corsicana, and 75 down east of Austin. So you 75 down at Corpus. So yeah, so the mid 70s down there south of Austin. 70 looks like just south of Dallas. And then I've got 66 in Dallas, and then I've got 65, 69 to almost 70 immediately to my northwest behind this line of storm. So it's very warm, very humid, and again, that's what thunderstorms like, that warm, moist air, and that's basically what we have. Take you out, show you. This is outside right now. Again, that's to the northwest St. Joe's Behold. You got a little, you know, you get a lot of times you get a lot of differential motion. It's not, you get the winds going into the storm, and as this bows out, and those winds surge outward, a lot of times you'll get the winds lifted up, and sometimes you can get these little spin ups on the leading edge, right? And that's kind of what we're seeing. Nothing too, you know, as far as tornadoes, it's more of a damaging wind event with this storm. And this line is starting to bulge out more and more to my, look at this line has bulging out. Now, that's this flanking line back southwest, but look at this big Arcus cloud now forming, right? This is going to be coming across the I-35 corridor. So in about 30 minutes, as this line gets east toward I-35, and you possibly, if it maintains its intensity, or if it gets stronger, you get these 50, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and blowing from west to east across I-35 that can easily flip 18-wheelers, right? Northbound and southbound on I-35. So that's going to be the biggest hazard with this storm as it crosses I-35 and starts getting to the northwest of the Dallas Metroplex, Denton, Decatur, on up to Gainesville and northern Texas here, as these damaging winds come across I-35 as this big storm moves east, and as we get toward dark and everything. That's probably the biggest hazard I see with these storms right now. Even though there's active tornado warnings, it's going to be these straight line damaging winds with this Arcus gust front. And a lot of times at night, sometimes once these storms get going, they like to accelerate, right? Turn east or east southeast, and maybe even move faster. So the winds could actually increase, right? So again, we got these little, I wouldn't even be hard struck to even call them funnels. Just got these little differential motion shear areas along the leading gust front. They look impressive, but they really don't do much. Sometimes, rare occasion, you'll get one of these that'll actually touch down, but there's so much momentum now with the west winds, it'll undercut it very quickly, right? So the chances of actually getting anything on the ground is going to be pretty slim at this point, from what I can see visually. Very difficult. Yep. Just a pretty good old severe thunderstorm in Texas, right? That's basically what we have today. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna move. There's current radar. Still have current active tornado warnings, and you see right here, I'm gonna go east over here to I-35. But that's really the main thing. It's gonna be these damaging winds on this leading gust front as they come southeast. That's going to be the main thing. Let's go back over to Fort Worth and see if it has a better look at it. Once these storms get closer to I-35, then we'll switch over here to DFW and the terminal Doppler. You see they're just now barely getting into that terminal Doppler. Once I get in within the range of the terminal Dopplers, I'll update every 60 seconds. I'll have really good data for the damaging winds, so we'll be able to pick up those damaging winds coming across I-35 here as that happens. I'm going to move because the storm is up on me, right? It's here. So I'm going to go east, get out of the path of it. We're getting heavy rain, blinding rain. It's going to be extremely torrential rain back west. I can see it coming, right? So we're out of here. But really, the tornado threat's pretty minimal right now. Visually, it's more of a damaging wind threat. That's what we're really seeing. West of Munster right now. Look ahead. If you look up at the top of the screen, you can actually see the inflow coming in. You can see the mid-level inflow just above the car here. I'm gonna tilt this up just there. You can see right up here. You see that right there. You see mid-level inflow, and it's racing back into the store, back to the west. So it's just inflow. Yep. Looks like I'm getting back in sill coverage now, really good. So some of my tweets I sent out a little bit ago are just now making Twitter. So Twitter's popping off now. Still looking at the storm back northwest again. I do now. We'll tell you this. I do see a big area of dust now kicking up to my northwest, which is going to be the damage and winds we talked about, right? That's going to be just to the northwest of Munster. It looks like there's a big amount of dust picking up now with this storm and this active tornado warning. Right now, don't see any tornadoes, but we're do see damaging winds in this line as it's approaching Munster, and it's also going to be approaching on down to Roston and Forestburg, and then eventually Era and Myra and Lindsay, and then Valley View, and then eventually Gainesville in about the next 30 minutes. And this definitely has very strong indications of damaging winds just to my northwest and west of Munster, and the radar shows that as well. And these storms are moving kind of east-southeasterly right now. Not overly impressive, just looks impressive visually. We're going to stop up here again and point back to the west, and you can see the active tornado warnings. I've got a really very impressive bowl in my northwest that's filled with dust and rain. It's very impressive looking, to be quite frank with you. It looks like the storms now are starting to turn even harder to the right. The attribute is starting to accelerate now. The storms, as we talked about, the storms are starting to accelerate to the southeast, and that's exactly what they're forecast to do, and that's what they're doing. So they're turning right now. They may not even go up in Oklahoma much. There are a few storms in southern Oklahoma right now, a couple of severe thunderstorms, but this main line is going to rapidly move east-southeastward down toward Era, Valley View, Gainesville. Gainesville, you might be on the northeast clip, and eventually it's going to go to Alvord, and then you're going to get over Sanger, and then Crum, Denton. Be watching out about an hour from now. You're going to have severe storms and tornado winds to your northwest. These storms are rapidly moving southeast now, and the storm's just about southwest now. See how fast they're moving southeast? About 30 knots. So it says in error you're going to be there in 30 minutes, and about 8:35. So yeah, 8:35. So you're just about 45 minutes, maybe about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes before it crosses I-35. So damaging winds. With active tornado warnings, but mainly damaging winds are going to be across the 935 near Gainesville, also Valley View, in about 30 minutes. This line is accelerating to the east-southeast, and that's what's going to happen, right? Again, do not see any additional tornado warnings. They're still in effect. They expire here in just a few minutes, and 2 minutes of tornado warnings expire, and let's see if they reissue them or they go back to severe on this line. We'll find out here momentarily. We're going to stop here, look back west. Yeah. Very impressive gust front coming southeast. Munster's just ahead. It's an excellent road here in Texas. Wow, impressive. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, let's see if I can do a crossover here. Yeah, and again, just kind of just a really big, burly storm back northwest here. Again, don't see a tornado or anything, just kind of a damaging line, a straight line damaging winds, and that's going to be the main threat with this storm, right? Here's this gust front. I'm gonna roll the window down. The sun's going to be going down here in a little bit, and you'll probably illuminate the storm and give it kind of more of an all-looking experience. But here's the damaging winds. It's up to my northwest, and I can actually see it kicking out dust now. This is getting a double gust front on this one. So it just tells me there's damaging line winds coming across on this, especially that northwest quadrant there. I can see the dust kicking out. It's a really dark area, and that's blowing dust kicking out on that northeast quadrant of this large supercell. And I can see that really plainly, right? You can see that big dust plume. That's dust kicking out ahead of the storm. So I know they've got 50, 70-mile-an-hour winds up here, that northeast quadrant, and that's coming east, right? That's going to be coming toward I-35 eventually in the next 30 minutes. So that's really what's going on right now. Again, I don't want to see any tornadoes. I just see basically just a big, broad storms, kind of a squall line with damaging winds along the leading edge. That's basically what we have, okay? And right now, again, I'm not seeing any tight circulations anywhere. Again, just straight line damaging winds are probably the main threat is really what we've got here, and that's basically what's probably going to happen the rest of the afternoon and evening here. So this line moves slowly southeast. So I'll turn the car here just just a little bit to show you that that gust front up to my northwest. That's pretty impressive right there. Anytime you see that footprint, that big foot coming out, not only just rain, but you can see the dust out ahead of it. You can tell it, you know, there's some pretty good winds with it, right? Yeah. And again, this is going to be kind of about where that arrow's pointing, right on the sign. That worked out really well, didn't it? So you kind of see back southwest here. I'll tilt this down so you can see that area. That's back where the windmills are there. That's pretty good winds coming in. Yeah, I haven't seen any power flashes. It's still a little bit pretty bright outside to see that, but you might get some power flashes and some damaging winds and power outages as this line gets into more heavy populated areas with more neighborhoods and housing and businesses. But again, it's not overly impressive. It's just basically severe thunderstorms kind of moving east just west of the I-35 corridor. So we've got some big storms. I do see some really big storms back distant southwest. That's going to be to the that's southeast of Abilene. There's some really big severe thunderstorms down there. They're also tracking to the east southeast. The models did a really good job of that. I do see a storm with rotation down there, and that is kind of to the northwest Evant and southwest of Hamilton. Kind of was about a week or so ago, and that's going to be northwest of Waco. Let's see, back to the west of Waco. You've got some very big, intense supercells back there. No tornado warnings, but they are rotating, and it looks like they're getting pretty big, right? They're pretty some. You see that they hail. Yeah, you got some storms down here back to the west of Waco. They're about 70 miles, almost baseball size hail. So these storms back southwest of Waco, you see that out there. They're golf ball to baseball size hail. So another cluster. Those are going to move southeast down toward Killeen and Temple, right? So those are ongoing. You've got this batch up here where we've had some tornado warnings. The hail is dropping up on this northern storm, and we'll go flip back to Dallas-Fort Worth radar here and just look at it and see what we've got. Again, not a little bit of hail, a little bit more hail there just to my southwest, and that's gonna head down to Sanger and that area. Inch and a half, about quarter to golf ball size hail. And again, heavy rain, a little bit of damaging winds is going to be the main threat on this. And it looks like the tornado warnings have expired now on this. And let's see what the severe thunder, that's just tornado watch. Let's see severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see what it says here. 12 minutes ago, 7:44, severe thunderstorm for central Montague County. Severe thunderstorm near Nakona moving east 35, ping pong ball size hail. Animals stay indoors. Okay, so no new severe thunderstorm warning on this line. So the storms have come down in intensity. They've also weakened on the couplets also. So the trend has been for this line to weaken as it's coming east. Here comes the winds now. You can see the gust front here. It's just to my northwest. Again, it's scary. It's low to the ground. But again, I don't see any signs of tornado. Just the leading edge of the gust front kind of coming southeast, right? And the sun's going down and makes for pretty pictures, right? So I'll take a picture here real quick before it gets totally dark. There we go. It's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of a pretty shot here right before the sun goes down. I'm gonna roll. I'll go ahead and go east. Get all this wind and rain that's gonna be here in just a second. Go east here and stay out of this. And looks like everybody kind of doing a slow roll coming eastbound here. Stay out of the path of the storm. I'm gonna head over to I-35 and probably call it a day, and I'm done. It's a very pretty chase today. No damage that I'm aware of, but there were some storms had some big hail earlier, some baseball, maybe even softball back out west. The storms first got rolling this afternoon, but again, nothing too bad today. Just some nice, pretty severe thunderstorms, and so far they've been pretty tame overall compared to what you might expect, right? So that's the best news of the day. What I'm going to do is I'm in Munster now, and I'm going to head on over to I-35. I'm going to wrap up the stream. Basically, this line is weakening, and no active severe thunderstorm warnings up in this area or tornado warnings. Those have all allowed to expire, and the intensity overall has come way down, both in the damaging winds and the rotation, as well as the hail's threat. Okay, so we're going to have some gusty winds and possibly some small hail, especially up in this area, but and maybe south down towards Sunset and back to the northwest of Decatur. Might have a little bit bigger hail with that tail end Charlie storm down there, but overall the trend's going to be weakening as we go over the next hour or two. It should slowly come down in intensity, and then tomorrow it'll start again along the I-35 corridor, probably around 4 to 7 p.m. We should have active severe thunderstorms again, producing baseball-sized hail, maybe a couple of tornadoes as well from Austin all the way up to the south side of the Dallas Metroplex. It's kind of the current forecast, and we'll see how that pans out. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We really appreciate you tuning in and seeing what Mother Nature has to offer today. Again, nothing too bad, which is good news actually, and be aware that we're going to have lots of severe weather in the coming days. So anyway, I will get back with you guys a little bit later. If anything else wild happens, I'll get back with you. Oh, there's a little power deal went off there. So anyway, we'll get back with you a little bit later, and you guys have a wonderful evening, okay?